Well, firstly, let me ask a question. If I were to ask you, what would be the one thing that's holding you back from investing in cryptocurrencies, what would that be? Well, for most people I've spoken to, two things really pop up. One is, there is no regulation in India, fair point. The second is the crazy amount of volatility when it comes to the crypto space. The fact that cryptos are extremely volatile, you don't know if the valuation will remain the same or it will be worth the same or it will change dramatically up or down both ways in a matter of days. Well, if you are the second type wondering about stability, then I have one word, or is it two words, I'm not really sure, for you. It's called stable coins. What exactly are stable coins? Why is everyone from investors to regulators so interested in this particular form? As usual, I'm going to give you all the answers, but first, I need my coffee. So, stable coins. One word, two word, I'm still not sure, but we'll talk about that with our experts as well. These are basically a type of crypto that attempt to offer some sort of price stability because they are actually backed by a reserve asset like a fiat currency or gold, or usually an asset that actually has value in what is called the real world, so to speak, right? Now, I actually think stable coins are one way wherein, you can have your cake and eat it too in the crypto space because it offers stability of a traditional currency as well as the convenience and privacy of a cryptocurrency as well. Now, these coins are normally marketed towards investors who may not want to take the classic risk associated with the crypto, like it could be Bitcoin, it could be Ethereum and the others as well. Now, why is that? Because while Bitcoin is, of course, the most popular crypto, its value has been very, very wild. It rose from around $4,000 in March of 2020 to $65,000 in April of 2021. And then it plunged down again over 50% to around 30,000 in June. Now, in fact, its value keeps fluctuating within days as well. And remember, one tweet might not be Elon Musk anymore, but can change a lot of fortunes when it comes to these coins. This also brings me to the other concern that people have about crypto, right? It's purchasing power in the real world. You see, the short-term volatility of cryptos like Bitcoins makes it difficult to use it as an actual value of exchange. For example, if you were to buy a packet of chips, say, 10 rupees, its value is likely to remain the same. The value of your 10 rupee note is also likely to be the same. But if you were to buy that using crypto, you can buy it one day, but next day you never know how much you'll be spending for that same packet of chip. It doesn't quite work well, does it? So stable coins try and bridge that gap between regular currency and cryptocurrency. To explain exactly how stable coins work, let me tell you the types of stable coins really out there. This will help you visualize the concept also well. Okay, first up is a fiat collateral stable coin. Now, these basically maintain a fiat currency reserve. Fiat currencies, I have told you several times now. Let me repeat it one more time. It's like your dollar, your rupee, euro. It could be anything, any regular currency out there. Now, all of these stable coins issue a corresponding number of crypto coins as well, these currencies. For example, one coin of Tether, the most popular stable coin, is set to value or have a value equivalent to that of $1 US. So basically, a stable coin could be 100 million in reserve and 100 million coins can be issued, each of which value 1. Now, if the stable coin's owner wants to cash it out, supposedly 20 coins, ideally they should be able to take a corresponding $20 from the reserve. Now, this collateral does need to be in cash and can also does not always, need to be in cash. It can also include precious metals like gold or silver or assets like oil as well. So that's one type. Second type is crypto collateralized stablecoins. In this, a stablecoin is basically backed by another type of crypto. Now, I know what you're thinking. Even the reserve or collateral crypto is unstable, so how can this possibly be solving the problem? But the thing here is that the reserve crypto is over-collateralized. This means that a larger number of crypto tokens are maintained as a reserve for a lower number of stable coins. So even if the fluctuations happen, the crypto remains relatively stable. Okay? The example of this is DAI stable, DAI stablecoin, which is backed by Ether as a reserve. There is a third type of stablecoin, it's called non-collateralized stablecoins. These are no reserves, but they include a working mechanism to try and retain a stable price. Like, you know how central banks print banknotes in a way that maintains the valuation of our currency, right? These can basically be programmed onto a crypto platform itself. An example of this is the longest running algorithm stablecoin, that is Ampleforth, right? So there are basically these three types of stablecoins. Clear? Simple? Having understood that, there is more you need to know, and the question of course you have in your mind is, are stable coins really as stable as they sound? Well, that brings me to some of the concerns that surround stable coins as well. First, of course, is ultimately even the stable coins are held somewhere, right? Whether you own a digital wallet or with an exchange. So the vulnerability of the platform itself obviously affects the coin. Second is the risk associated with the counterparty, the banks involved in holding these reserves, and the organizations which have issued these stable coins. And third, and the most important here is the risk really associated with the reserves? Basically, in an ideal situation, the issuer of a stable coin should have the exact amount of reserves as a coin issued. Like I gave you the example earlier, like if they issue 100 million coins worth $1 each, they should have $100 million of reserve. But that may not always happen. For example, many believed that Tether actually does not have enough dollar reserves. Sample this. In May of 2021, Tether broke down the reserves for the stable coin, and it turned out that just about 3% of their holdings were actually cash. Most of it was in commercial paper, which, mind you, need not translate into the same amount of cash. So how should you really determine whether a stable coin is safe? Well, as usual, there are no guarantees when it comes to investment in these. But here are some basics that you can do as a background check, right? One is check the issuer's reserve report. Check who is backing the coin, what is behind the stability of this coin as well. Check those three factors that we talked about. Also check how much can you actually use it in the real world. If you aim to use it as a mode of exchange, as a currency, how many people are actually accepting that coin? Basically, stable coins do provide higher level of stability than most cryptos. They can become also, when it comes to a crisis situation, also very, very risky. After all, a known devil, as they say, is better than an unknown one.